Going on? I'm Bryon Summers, photographer, content creator, and I'm joined here, as always, with my friends and shooters.
Yo, what's going on? This is Dayo Kosoko, the Art Hype. Really excited to be here and see you guys once again.
Yep, and as I am James Anthony here again, and always happy to sit here and talk to you guys.
So this episode is a special episode. We are celebrating.
I couldn't hold it. I'm sorry.
Yo, I was about to say that you can cut that clip.
That was you got it.
Always happy to sit here and talk to you guys.
And this issue of Shooting with Shooters is a special installation where we focus on the Union Market mural installation curated by none other than Bryon Summers. But today we're focusing on one of our own.
Yeah, man, one of our own, and that is none other than Dayo Kosoko. Fortunate enough to call this guy a friend, but when I was called to reach out to my own community to submit images to this installation, it was a short amount of time that I had, and in that short amount of time, I had, a short list, and Dayo was one of them. Not only because he is in the area, lives in DC, he left and came back, so he has a great perspective of having gone to like the Midwest, and lived and gone to school out there and developed that perspective. And then you bring him back over here, and he's doing things like moon melanin and fostering a community. Now with his new studio, the Dojo in Capitol Heights, Maryland. He's just doing a lot of things, and I can say he as if he's not here because this is somebody that again, like I definitely admire. So it was no question when it came time to reaching out to this guy to submit images to a project that was meant to celebrate melanin.
And to piggyback off what you're saying, Bryon, you asked each of us to submit 5 photos that we felt would evoke an emotion in this installment. And what we're doing right now is we're going to ask Dayo about some of the images that he did select, and we can pick his brain on to why he picked them. So one of the first images we're going to talk about is one that when I first saw it, actually stopped me in my tracks. I actually told you this, Dayo, but it's a photo of a young man who I actually know, but I'll let you talk about him. But he's holding a newborn baby in his arms. And right. I believe this is from your Moon Melanin project. But if you can tell us more about this image and what made you choose it.
Right. First and foremost, thanks, fellas, for having me here. It's an honor. It's really interesting to be on this side, being able to talk to my brothers, but them also being very inquisitive about the works. So I appreciate you. Much love to you and your market for giving us the opportunity. You are appreciated as well. And I got to thank my homies over at God is Dope for this shirt that says, if God can get me through 2020, he can get me through anything. Mm-hmm. And that's how I truly feel. So, we are telling a story in 2020. And this image that you speak of was taken in 2000 and maybe late 18 or early 2019 for my Moon Melanin project. Big shout out to my homie Ron, man, Peyton's Place. He's a realtor in Southeast DC. And really interesting story behind this picture is that Ron, this is his first child. And, during the project, I asked everybody what's the first word they think of when they think of the word melanin. And Ron's word was legacy. This was the first time that his son had been photographed. And he said, Dayo, I want you to do it as part of your series. Ironically, I'm going to take Halloween pictures for Ron and his son coming up here soon. So it's kind of interesting how this photography thing works. But Ron's son name is Zion. And Zion is an immovable mountain. It's a peak. It's it's power essentially. And the story behind Zion's name, coming monumental essentially was that Zion was born in his father's car, Ron's car.
Wow.
Shout out to my sister Akela, who, you know, held on as long as she could. But when the baby was ready to come, the baby was ready to come. And this happened right outside the Washington Monument. And Ron delivered the child while waiting for the EMTs to come. And it was really such a special moment because here he has his son born right in front of the monument, and his son's name is Zion, which essentially gives this child endless opportunities. But the picture itself was taken in the Moon Melanin style, where anyone who is, I want the emphasis is the darkness that, you know, melanated people find themselves in. The illumination is their story being told. And that's Ron's story of Zion, legacy. And it just looks like a father's protection. When you think of somebody, you know, taking care of home, taking care of family, being a king to his princes and princesses, that's the image I see every single time. And his eyes are closed because you look at this man, and this man is thinking about what the future holds for not only him, but more so his son and his family. And that takes a moment of reflection. So that's the inspiration behind that piece. Legacy.
One thing I always like about your shots, Dayo, is like the framing. Like even with the shot of Ron and how the light is coming down, you know, you just see just a little bit of the rim light on Ron's head, on the crown, and on the crown of Zion. You know,
Crown.
Exactly, the crown. But I love the symmetry of this. You know, even though like Zion's off to the side, just the symmetry of Ron with it. But it leads me to another image, because this is like a repetitive theme, I think, you know, just like having like the center of focus. The shot of a guy who's also, I guess, you know, we definitely call him a friend of the show, Duke Dubois. He's a model that you might know from the Grams. But I know you shoot Duke a lot. And one shot that I really loved, because, you know, you've been shooting Duke for I'm not sure how long you've been shooting for, but, you know, it was enough, you know, for me to know this is your guy. Would you call him eclectic?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Duke wears things, and his sense of style is something that to the layman we might think, oh, okay, what's he doing? But you know, in the grand sense of the fashion world, he's definitely an inspiration and a leader.
Right. So in this particular piece, he, you know, his outfit, you know, was already a brilliant suit with flowers on it. But I know this was shot in D.C. down by the Martin Luther King monument and cherry blossoms and all that, because he's right up in the tree and just perched right in the middle, and it's just framed just right, and he's almost blended in, but the jacket is a little bright. But this shot right here, just tell me how like this actually happened. Like, were you guys just walking and you just saw the tree, or did you plan it out?
Wow, that's interesting. It's cool to see what you guys perceived from the image, and for me to actually tell you what happened. So this wasn't taken by MLK or by the cherry blossoms. Ironically, this tree is not even a cherry blossom. It's a magnolia tree. And this tree was in Rawlings Park in Washington, D.C. So that's a little gem for everybody who wants to, you know, go around blooming time or springtime. It's some beautiful views over in Rawlings Park. But I had found this park by driving by it, of course. You know, guys, when we drive around wherever we're from, we take mental Rolodexes of locations. And I saw it and I said, okay, yeah, exactly. And I saw it and I said, okay, Duke, that's where I'm going to shoot, Duke. That's where we're going to do it. And I just always wanted to shoot something with the cherry blossoms, or just the pink, the duality of a masculine man, but also being an emotional or passionate being. Saying you can be both, essentially. And with this picture, we had various shots from all over the place, all over the surrounding areas with the trees and the flowers. But, you know, the flowers, shout out to Lucky Peters again. But essentially, I saw Duke. I said, Duke, what you trying to do? You trying to climb this tree? There was no delay. He wasn't hesitant. And he climbed the tree with dress shoes. People ask me now to this day, like, did you Photoshop? How did you get this? How did you do that? I said, my brother climbed the tree, and so did I. So imagine me on one limb and Duke on one limb. And it was special because we were able to have flowers in the foreground and the background. And there's other images from that shoot that just show that shows what it is to be in a peaceful place. And I think when you think of flowers, you think of love, happiness, gifting, and those were things that were present in that shoot. So thank you.
Yeah, man. Everything about this, like the framing of, like I said, like even this little, like, it's like a little like halo like around his hat. Just like a white space is empty. It's just, I love it. I love it. So what about this made you think that this needed to? My bad, James, for stepping on you. I was gonna say, Dayo, what about this image made you want to choose it to submit to this particular project?
Right. So with all of the selections, I had a hard time choosing, honestly, because I take a lot of pictures of this type of content. So it's like telling somebody to go to your greatest hits to submit something. And I also wanted to show imagery that I don't think people may have seen before. So with this image, it was definitely the flowers. It showed like what it is to be in DC. When you think of things that blossom, you think of a city, but the color that pops in DC during the springtime is something otherworldly. To come from a city and to get that much green, that much, by the water, the scenes are ridiculous. So that was one motivation, but then also have this melanated man. I think when we're able to show, once again, see it, be it, and once again, we love you, showing all facets of what Black people look like. I wanted to show somebody that had style, that was dapper, that was very clean, very sharp, and put him in a space that showed him at peace. The opposite of imagery, essentially, warring, Black people battling, Black people angry, Black people hood, Black people XYZ. Not to say one is one or the other, good or bad, but just to say that there's more to us. There's a lot to us. And here's one view you may not have seen before.
And it's a beautiful shot shown in a beautiful way. And just as you mentioned, we are multifaceted, right? And we can show beauty in those euphoric moments, but then also we can show beauty in the painful moments, and which leads us into your next photo. It looks like you might have taken it at a protest, and it's in a sea of people. There's an American flag, which is the forefront of the photo as the main focal point. Can you tell us about where this was and what made this your top 5 for this display, for this Union Market display?
Right. Thank you, brother. So this image we talked about it on the last episode, our personal episode. We talked about the protests and things of that nature. I mentioned that I hadn't gone out to the protests initially, but with the push of aforementioned Duke Du Bois, we went to the protest on the 3rd day. And ironically, this was the first picture I took at the protest. Imagine walking up to a protest. I'm 6'4", so I have the ability to, I'm on Black Lives Matter Plaza, but I'm able to tower a little bit above people. And immediately with tall people, Bryon, you may not understand.
Damn, shots.
Immediately, I'm joking. Immediately with tall people, you recognize other tall people in the space. So as I walked in, my view directly saw this guy. Then I look up and I'm saying, this guy is literally waving this flag like, I'm Black, I'm here. I'm waving the flag too. The flag means something to me too. I was immediately taken back to one of my favorite movies of all time, which is Glory. And in Glory, one of the biggest responsibilities was to make sure, obviously, when you're at war, when you're civil warring, essentially, to keep the flag up. It provides morale and it provides opportunity for people to be, okay, we got to go. So during the film in Glory, an individual passed away and was shot, but someone who we didn't expect took up that flag and said, even through everything I've been through, from getting out of slavery to now fighting for the freedom of everybody, I'm still going to wave the flag because whether you like it or not, I'm American too. So when I saw him coming up, I initially was like, whoa, this is amazing. This tall brother just being there with force. And I was able to capture it with a little wind flow, and it created something dramatic, and I'm happy about it. Oh, let me not even take away. Bryon, do you have the name of the piece right now in front of you? If you don't,
Blood stripes.
Blood Stripes. So I mentioned the name of the piece. Obviously, it's called Blood Stripes. And Blood Stripes, I took that from a quote from Fannie Lou Hamer, who was a civil rights activist, but she was from the sharecropping area. So she spoke from the people from the farms, like, this is what we're dealing with. And this was in 1971. And she said that every red stripe in that flag represents the black man's blood that has been shed. And to me, this black man holding the flag, Fannie Lou Hamer's quote, blood stripes, that was the duality there once again. And, really happy about the piece.
Dope.
I like how you tied that all in there.
I'm so deep.
I want to know what this tall man salute is that you guys had. Just like, is it just like a tall head nod?
Oh, I spoke to him. Yo,
hey, tall guy.
I said, I see you, bro.
Right,
after the shot. I said, I see you, bro. I got you. He was like, oh man, yo.
So, confession, in curating this, you being one of the first people I reached out to, I know we kind of have work that might overlap. So this is one image that I'm about to speak about is one that, we both share in common with another image I submitted where the subject had grills, something in their teeth. But this one is not even as if it was a competition. I just wanted to like juxtapose it. But if there was a competition, you killed it. Again, with the colors, I love the boldness in your colors. And no matter how bold this image is of this young man, basically flexing his grill, showing off his bottom and top grills. They have fangs. I don't know if there's diamonds in his grills. I don't even care because they just look so vicious. Like they match the pose, the brilliance and vibrance of it all. And again, I actually want you to touch on like your use of, or I don't even know if it's intentional. You let us know if it's intentional that most of these models that you have, or most of these images that you have, it's either an Afrocentric print or just a colorful pattern.
So when it comes to color is my best friend. I love the way color pops off of our skin. I love the way our skin partners with color as well. You think of contrast and sharpness. When you look at us, we essentially pop off the screen, and that's consistent. I think it's a product of me being around a lot of Black people and from the diaspora as well. So not just Black Americans, but individuals who are from Africa, individuals who are from Africans in other countries as well. So that being around me, and from this time of people really being forthright and presenting their culture. A lot of my friends wear traditional clothes often, speak traditionally and do traditional things. This is interesting because, you have a lot of people that were born in America and their parents were the first ones to come here. That's the first generation. And I'm first generation Nigerian. The first generation essentially has the best of both worlds. We have the culture and we've been taught the traditions of our homeland, but we've also been taught by the streets of, the DMV. We have friends from both places. So, shout out to Ulrich, who's in the picture, at Shooters Art. One of my guys I mentor and really try to provide an opportunity to be great because I believe in Ulrich and his potential. This was him at the studio. We were just talking as we normally do this in my old studio at 52 O Street. And this was shot with natural light. I knew he had this grill. Once again, it's something he saved up for. He was excited about. And I saw him with the grill and I said, you know what, bro, we gotta take a picture of this because it's showing, obviously you've put money where your mouth is. And it's something that you're even using as motivation for yourself. So that if I do have this grill, I need to have other things as well. So let this be the start. So I took the picture because, a standard pose is showing your grill off. This is what we do. We're showing off our grill. But I call the picture Why So Serious? Because you think of the Joker and he always talks about putting a smile on that face. And this was a picture where it's like people take things like a grill seriously. They take aspects of what people wear and how they dress and how they do their hair and how they do different things. And it's such a judgmental aspect of things. Someone like Ulrich should be able to wear his grill and do whatever he wants and show his grill, you know? Why so serious? So it's that aspect of, okay, I can do what I want. I'm still me, accept me for who I am. And that was the basis behind the picture.
Oh yeah, I'm a fan of the depth of field, the angle in which you shot it, the detail in his fingers is. I always appreciate an image that can keep you captivated for various reasons. So it's yeah, kudos to you on that, man. And I know you said that you are attracted to color, which leads us right into your next image, especially of this beautiful young lady who is in African pattern, African print. I'm not sure what type of print this is, but the heels are killing. And I'll be honest with you, when I saw this photo, it felt familiar to me in just the type of subjects and content that I like to shoot. So I was particularly attached and drawn to this next shot of this young lady sitting on the steps. If you can tell us more about this.
Yeah, yo, so this picture is really special. Shout out to Yanju So Fine. Yanju, a young Nigerian model, up and coming model, not even up and coming, she's popping. So shout out to Yanju, shout out to All Things Ankara and their whole team over there. You know, my homegirl Nikki, who sells Ankara prints. And you know, it was a dope opportunity because this was for a campaign for an Afro brunch. And we did a whole shoot, a whole campaign and a whole rollout. And, you know, Yanju she has the ability to give you power, sexiness, and confidence. And that's displayed in this shot. Yeah. And I love the outfit. You know, it represents the culture, but it also represents, you know, when you see African print designed in a different way. So this is designed as a European, essentially like a suit with a hat on the side. So it shows that, you know, Africans, essentially, we can do anything. And a lot of what you see might even look better with us doing it. So, you know, it's a pretty dope. It's a pretty dope shot. Thanks, man.
That's all you always hear people like, yo, black people are the seasoning of life. Come on now. Yeah, I love it. All right, Dayo, can you let the good people know what you have coming down the pipeline, some upcoming projects, so we can, you know, stay tuned for it.
Right. Really excited. Got some things in the work. I'm working on my next show. You know, got some things going there, and I'm working with some projects within the studio, man. Please stay tuned to what's going on at my studio, the Dojo. Shout out to my business partners, Jay Ives and Kanye's Best, Thaddeus Pryor. Really excited for what we got cooking, and shout out to our studio manager, Yogi the Shooter, man. Really great shooter. Really proud of him and what he's been doing as well. But got a lot of stuff cooking. You know, if you got any questions, we do got Dojo Night on Tuesdays. Would love to talk to you guys about that. If you are interested in any prints, please feel free to shoot me an email, dayo@thearthype.com. And, you know, once again, I try to make myself very accessible to be the accessible person that we didn't have when we were coming up. So peace and love.
That's real. Dayo, thank you again, obviously, for being, you know, here and for being available to, you know, be in this project. And of course, you know, looking forward to many more projects like this and bigger and better. In the meantime, you guys can definitely check out more from Shooting with Shooters right here on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that comment. Drop us some comments. We want to answer some questions. And then also check out more episodes from the Union Market special. There's 4 other episodes like this. So check them out. Myself, James, Ashley, Bing, and Jeremy Ives, Job Shot. We're right here. So I'm Bryon Summers at Bryon Summers on everything.
I am Dayo Kosoko, who was just interviewed, The Art Hype, if you ain't heard it the first couple of times, on everything.
And I am James Anthony on social media platforms. And if you haven't done it already, follow Shooting with Shooters on Instagram, where we shout out other photographers you may not even know about.
This is amazing, guys. Appreciate y'all. Peace and love.